So let's talk about the house. My friend Zach emailed me a story about this a few weeks ago, and he said, "How cool is this? You got to check it out." I think he wants to open one, but he was like, "This is just amazing. How did you come up with this idea of the house?" I know you've got a background in education, but tell us that story.
It's the house is really an amalgamation of a lot of other very successful ideas. So Carrie and I have been in the tutoring business. Our company is called Chicago Academic, and our niche was we found the funkiest PhDs and master degree tutors you could ever find. So we would only send to your home someone that has at least one master's, but we also always had the highest per square inch ratio of tattoos. These are actual people. These are tutors that were punk rock roadies for years, and instead of being on the bus doing drugs, they were reading books. Then went and got their graduate degrees and became teachers. We have ex surfing champions. We have just complete characters, and we've always liked hiring those because they identify with the kids. An engineer who's built a motorcycle and sings in a band can identify with a teenager so much better than anyone else. And so we always knew that funky blew away nerdiness in this idea of how to help students even in their own home. And then we opened up our headquarters. We bought a building and decided, we're going to have a few tutoring rooms in it, but we couldn't stand to have a building that looked like a dentist's office, which is what we felt every tutoring company looked like. So we built kind of an urban, sleek style, and it really caught fire. And then, so the house itself came from the response we got from kids for the design. And you said WeWork in your introduction. WeWork is, for those that don't know what Soho House is, which you need to live in certain cities to know, Soho House are these member lounges that are kind of urban, funky. They don't look fancy, and they're meant to be a community for artists. And why I belong to one, I'm amazed to this day, but I do. And what I find is that they build community, which is what WeWork does as well. It took entrepreneurs like you out of your basement and gave you a place that looked awesome and that was filled with people like you and built you a community. And so that spoke to me for a long time. I've always loved the Apple Genius Bar concept. Most of your listeners might be too young to remember, but when that idea came out, it was gigantic. That I could walk in somewhere and not have to sit on the phone and get free help, that was mind-blowing. And so we put all those things together, and of Starbucks, the affinity teenagers have for that. And we took 10 years of understanding what kids were missing. The tutoring model is absolutely broken. It's as old as Aristotle. The idea that Rob, when you call me for a tutor, we're going to talk about your child. I'm going to have my team pick out the perfect tutor. You're going to look at your family's calendar. We're going to pick the right time, and your kid will have been completely absent from that conversation. Well, no longer. The house, which is a model we're taking nationally, is a membership lounge for students. Parents gift a membership to their students for $250 a month, and they can come and they check in and check out just like a health club, so we know when they're there. And it is a luxurious space, and they are not taught how to be adults. They are not punished. They are not reprimanded. They're taught our golden rules in terms of how not to be disruptive. But otherwise, it's their place. And until 4:30, the place is loud. It's bright. They are socializing. At 4:30, we bring it down, and it just becomes a nice, courteous workspace. And so what's amazing is we're seeing kids from very different schools making friends. We're seeing kids who never like to study find that they're in the coolest place in town is the place where you study. And the biggest value statement for the parents is that the kids will meet their goal. So some parents' goal, and even for different kids of ours, our goal might be for them to get an A in algebra, or just get a B in algebra and we'll be thrilled, or just get your homework done so that we can have dinner together and so that we can spend time together as a family, or so that I don't have to yell at you to get your homework done. There are all these different reasons parents are sending their kids. And the reason the kids love it is because they're studying together, they're hanging out together, and it's filled with tutors. And the way they access those tutors is the way they access the world. They go on their phone, they go to our app, they push a button, and they tell them, I'm sitting in the living room and I need help in physics, and a physics tutor shows up. And if they need more than just a little bit of homework help, they push a different button and we get a room ready for them, and they go and get a private tutoring session for as long as they need. Their parents have authorized it. Their parents know what they're doing in the house, but they don't know the details. We also have a gourmet market where they can buy all the snacks and hot food that they want, that they heat up themselves. It's self-serve. We're there to serve them. And the running philosophy there is we're in existence to advocate for the teenager. I'm really tired of cliches with the helicopter parents and the high pressure kids. And it's not a cliche. No parent wakes up in the morning looking to torture their kid with high expectations. And no kid wakes up in the morning wanting to live with all these burdens. It's just the dynamic of today. We're living in this anxiety industrial complex, and what we are is a safe haven. The best part is parents are not allowed in. We had a parent make her way in inadvertently about 15 feet, and I called an emergency staff meeting. That is the biggest value statement for the kids. We have kids that come 3-4 times a day on the weekends simply because home's a little stressful, and this is a respite for them. So that's the house. We're looking to disrupt the tutoring model. The kids get the help they want, when they want, and they even get to choose who it's from, and the parents get the outcomes they want. And that's what the place is about. And 40% of kids these days are diagnosed with anxiety or depression. Forget the number that I can estimate on the ones that aren't even diagnosed yet. If we can give relief, which is what tutoring should always do, that's what we do. And we have an entire education team behind the curtain that talks to the students' parents, to their schools, to their therapists, and the kids never know it. They just think they're having fun, but we're pulling strings behind the curtain to make sure they get the help they need. So that's the house in its essence. And if anyone lives in Chicago, we'd love to show it to you. Our first one's in Glencoe. We're opening our second one this summer. We're opening a few more next summer, and then we're just going national as fast as we can.